Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Mahira binti Hamzah. Today I would like to present about citizen participant. Okay, this is my content that I have a 5 content: introduction, strength of theory, the weakness of rational theory, case study, and conclusion. Okay,
Number one is, what is citizen participant?
the number one is about introduction. What is citizen participant? Okay, according to Tambachi and Lininger, public participation is an umbrella term that describes the activities by which people, concern, need, interests, and values are incorporated into decision and action on public matters and issues.
According to James, citizen participation is the process of exercising power on decision making in the community area that involved by non-expert or citizen. According to Sherry, citizen participation is the power redistribution that enables the have-not citizen to be.
Okay, according to Norman Ringer also, that have described 5 participation. Okay, what is this? Okay, number 1, participation as a policy. Number 2 is participation also is about as a strategy. And number 3 is participation as a communication. Number 4 is participation as a conflict resolution. And number 5 is participation as a therapy. Okay, according to Norman Wingate also, that describe if there is a political revolution going on throughout the world, it is what might be called the participation explosion. Okay, that have a 3 level of the ladder of citizen participation, which is degree of citizen power that include citizen control, delegated power, and partnership. And number 2 is degree of tokenism. Degree of tokenism that have 3, which is application, consultation, and informing. And number 3 is non-participation. Okay, for non-participation is include by 2, consists by 2, which is therapy and manipulation process by the ladder of citizen participation. That I will to describe different of public in participation, which is by 3 country, which is by country. Number 1 is any citizen can run for office or vote in election. In another country is state there are restrictions based on who can run for office and who can vote. Okay, another countries is also there are also countries where no citizen can vote, and there are no election also. Okay, for indirect participation that involved by voting and donating money. For direct participation is by 3, ticket participation, team participation, and conventional participation.
The second topic is about the strength and the weakness of theory.
Okay, number 2, I would like to say about strength and the weakness of theory. Okay, the number 1 is the project vision. Okay, provide institutional channel for citizen participation in planning, implementation, monitoring, and prioritization. Okay, number 2 is about quality of delivery. Okay, for public participation that enable citizens to influence service delivery quality. Okay, for the strength of public participation is about that can deliver the service that can promote the demand driven that service delivery. Okay, number 4 is accountability. Okay, to promote accountability and transparency in service delivery. Okay, for community development, that I think the public participation is also can use community driven development bottom up model for institutionalizing citizen participation in local governments. Okay, so I will to describe about the weakness of public participation. Okay, According to Babajanian also, that is described by the loss of effective of public participation is so community with weak leadership capacity may be less effective in attracting funds and benefit from social funds. And number two is about marginalized, that the most of citizens may not be willing and not be able to participate and articulate demands for service. And also, I think based on Babajani's statement is also the state about limited evidence. For limited evidence is about the potential to the institutional governance outside micro project. And lastly is about corruption. There is a more prone to elite capture environment with high level of corruption and clientless. Okay.
The topic number 3 is about the weakness of rational theory.
So I will state about the weakness of another theory, such as rational theory. Okay, that I consists of six elements by the weakness of rational theory, which is the problem associated with inadequate information and uncertainty. Okay, number two is about more to human socialization and interaction are complex. And so many theories that examine rarely may provide better guides to how this take place rather than rational theory. Okay, number three is rational theory argue that macro level structure and institutional can be explained from the model of individual social action. Okay, number four is about I think that I found that less applicable to political versus economic behavior. And I think the certain thing is there is more ignore individual difference, and lastly is there are more highlight unrealistic explanation because when the people that have a more rational theory, that is more the argument that happen and will become the weakness because it will be unrealistic. Okay, for case study, I'm choose for Peninsula Malaysia. Okay, I have some journal that refer according to Zainuddin, Khalid, Nga Ibrahim, and Siti Hajar. Okay, the topic of case study is about limitation on community participation in planning decision making in Peninsula Malaysia. That review some study. Okay. 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 According to as we know, public participation is also under the planning theory, under the Act 172, which is in Town and Country Planning Act 1976. Okay. The importance of public participation can help the decision maker to make the good decision through the process of community experiential knowledge. Okay, the another thing, the importance of public participation is also can democratize. The government also not monopolize the system and can give the opportunity for the stakeholders to get involved the project or something that happen in our country. Okay, another thing is the importance of public participation is also can promote the greater citizenship. Then lastly is can achieve the primary purpose. Okay, some issue that I found from the previous study that have four issue of case study, which is lack of public participation. And another thing is inadequacy of conventional participatory because of most of the local planning authorities in Malaysia that use the conventional participatory process. Then the another thing is because of I think the most important is because ineffectiveness of local planning authority in Malaysia. And lastly is because of I think the community lack of ability to participate because of they don't know how to assess the journey participation avenue and the another related with the something wrong with the information. Alright, there is some criteria for effective public participation in Malaysia. Okay, based on the case study and review, on my review, because of there is a public participation should include the representative of the affected population. And another thing is because of participation process should be equitable to others, and then the public should be involved in the most initial stage of the process. Then the public participation should have access to appropriate resources to ensure the success of its implementation. And then the public participation seeks out the facilities that involve of those potentially affected by the decision and the timing. And place also important for the public participation to know the schedule of the timing that they need to involve. Okay, then in terms of quality, deliberative, okay, our participation also should give a chance to speak and give opinion what they need to deliver. And the participant input is sought to design the participation process. The task definition is need to nature and to scope what the participation should be will define. Okay. Then the another thing is I think the technical information, non-technical information need to use to deliver the information for the public to more understanding about the what happened and what they need to do. Okay. Then they communicate. They need the public participation also need to know what the communicated influence on their decision, what happened and what the next process. Okay. Then the in terms of outcome and the criteria that influence the output, the procedure should have journey impact that affected the decision, what happened in decision and the procedure and something like that. And then the public participation should build mutual understanding between stakeholders. Then the importance of stakeholders and public participation is also a relationship need to be built understanding, and public participation should build trust to what happened and what ongoing on the project or something like that, and workable trust. They need to public participation should create an acceptable situation, win-win situation like that, and public participation should bring satisfaction to participants to involve public participation process in planning decision making in Peninsular Malaysia, which is we have two, which is in strategic planning and operational planning. Strategic planning we have two piece, which is for first piece we have community and other stakeholders are informed of the main finding of the assessment report. Then the next stage for the second piece, the SPC present the proposed development direction and strategy to the public. Okay, next for the community participation in operational planning, that have two. I will elaborate about the Town and Country Planning Act and by the Section 21 Act 1172, which is a public is eligible to participate in planning, and the requirement for the LPA to notify the neighbor landowner regarding to the planning permission. Okay, for the they have another thing is about treatment of application. It's understood that the LPA will deliberate any objection in granting planning permission, and also the public community can make the appeal against any planning permission under the appeal board estate. And lastly is about eligible to appeal only can those who have submitted an objection also can. Okay. They have a limitation on community participation in planning decision making, which is we have three process. Okay, There are a cultural category, operational category, and structural category. For the operational category that have seats, okay, number one, lack of information sharing. Number two is degrade the public participation. Number three is unequal information access. Number four is marginalization. Number five is lack of collaboration and coordination. And lastly is reason. Okay, for the structural category that have seats, which is number one is financial and administration capacity, the limitation of time and effect, lack of skill, reluctant to collaborate, domination of decision making, and marginalized. Okay, for the cultural category that have some of indicator that I want to elaborate, which is limited knowledge, lack of awareness, mind your own business, MYOB syndrome that is happen in our community. Okay, lack of civil society, local authority participant decision making, and political tendency. Okay, I will conclude my presentation today. As a conclusion, as we know, citizen participation and conflict management focus to interest rather than some position. It is also will help the current misunderstanding in policy and the whole process. It will improve to generate the creative solution to public policy problem. Therefore, the citizen participation and conflict prevention is to raise the critical concern during the early stage of a project or policy. It is also help to generate more understanding about community goals and needs as well. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.